The Middle East. Often defined by outsiders, this region is the literal cradle of civilization, where the first empires rose. But the most defining carving of this land happened in the modern era, executed by European powers. With rulers in distant capitals wielding rulers and pens, they drew lines across maps that ignored language, ethnicity, and deep-rooted identities. These arbitrary lines became the skeleton of the modern Middle East, setting the stage for a century of tension. As the 20th century dawned, a new force arrived: the desperate hunt for natural resources. In the 1930s, a foreign oil company struck a deal with a desert kingdom. What they found beneath the rolling dunes changed everything. Money and Western workers flocked to the desert, creating insulated American suburbs in an intensely traditional land. Security soon followed. Landing strips and military outposts were established to protect the flow of this black gold. It was the beginning of a strategic romance that fueled a superpower but sowed deep resentment. While resources brought outside powers in, regional rivalries tore the fabric from within. One of the most devastating conflicts was the 8-year war between two regional giants, kicking off in 1980. Fueled by revolutionary fervor and territorial ambition, it descended into brutal trench warfare. Global superpowers, obsessed with the Cold War, cynically backed the same side to maintain the status quo. This war defined modern sectarian fault lines and left a generation scarred, leading to future invasions and proxy conflicts that continue to this day. Following a major terrorist attack on its own soil, the world's leading superpower pivoted back to the Middle East with aggressive intent. A public campaign was launched, built on certainty that a specific regime possessed weapons of mass destruction. Public speeches painted a terrifying picture, yet private documents reveal a different story: a determination for regime change regardless of facts. An invasion was launched, no weapons were found, but the decade-long occupation took hundreds of thousands of lives and destabilized the entire region. This relentless geopolitical maneuvering has turned vulnerable populations into pawns. In the Levant, divide and conquer strategies have prioritized land expansion over genuine peace. Similarly, a stateless people scattered across 4 countries have been repeatedly armed and instigated by regional and Western powers to fight their battles, only to be abandoned when their strategic usefulness expired. Now, a new scramble is underway for control over maritime choke points. In one impoverished nation, a religious militia seized the capital, drawing neighboring powers into a brutal war. In another, a tiny nation hosts the military bases of rival superpowers side by side. It is a delicate, dangerous balancing act in a sea of turmoil. The Middle East is now facing its greatest transformation. As the world pivots away from fossil fuels, the region's oil giants are forced to reinvent themselves. One kingdom is betting its fortune on a trillion-dollar futuristic city to attract new industries. It is a collision of worlds, where ancient traditions meet non-stop construction. The great scramble continues, but as the era of cheap oil fades, a new, volatile chapter is being written in the sand.